Did Jesus foresee his own crucifixion? The air was thick with tension as Jesus walked through the bustling streets of Jerusalem. The festival of Passover was approaching, and the city was alive with pilgrims and merchants. Yet, amidst the vibrant energy, there was an underlying sense of unease. Jesus' followers noticed how his demeanor had shifted in recent days. He spoke with more urgency, his teachings carrying an air of finality, as if preparing them for something monumental. But what could it be? Did Jesus already know what lay ahead? The Gospels hint that Jesus had a profound awareness of his destiny. Time and again, he spoke cryptically of being handed over to the authorities and rising again on the third day. These statements puzzled his disciples, who were unable to grasp their full meaning. After all, Jesus was a teacher, a healer, and their leader. How could someone with such divine power and influence face betrayal, suffering, and death? But what if he had foreseen it all? A moment of revelation. One day, Jesus gathered his disciples in a quiet spot near Caesarea Philippi. He asked them a profound question. "Who do people say that I am?" Some said he was John the Baptist. Others believed he was Elijah, or one of the prophets returned. But then he turned the question to them. "Who do you say that I am?" Peter, with conviction in his voice, declared, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus commended Peter's faith, but immediately followed with a shocking revelation. He told them that he must go to Jerusalem, suffer at the hands of the elders, chief priests, and teachers of the law, and ultimately be killed. Only to rise again on the third day. His disciples were stunned. Peter, unable to fathom such an outcome, rebuked Jesus, saying, "Never, Lord, this shall never happen to you." But Jesus' response was sharp and direct. "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." What did Jesus see that Peter couldn't? The Last Supper, a shadow of betrayal. As the days drew closer, Jesus' actions became more deliberate, almost as if he was orchestrating his final moments. During the Last Supper, he broke bread and poured wine, symbolizing his body and blood. His words carried an eerie weight. "This is my body, given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Then came the chilling announcement, "One of you will betray me." The room fell silent. The disciples exchanged nervous glances, each wondering if he was the one. Judas Iscariot, sitting quietly among them, likely felt the weight of Jesus' gaze. Did Judas realize that Jesus already knew of his betrayal in the Garden of Gethsemane? That night in the Garden of Gethsemane, the tension reached its peak. Jesus withdrew from his disciples to pray alone. Under the pale moonlight, he knelt and pleaded with God. "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Drops of sweat like blood fell from his brow. He knew what was coming: the betrayal, the humiliation, the excruciating pain. Yet he accepted it with a resolve that spoke of a greater purpose. When Judas arrived, leading the mob with torches and swords, Jesus did not resist. He simply said, "Friend, do what you came for, signs and prophecies." Throughout his ministry, Jesus often spoke of events that seemed to foreshadow his death. He referred to the sign of Jonah, comparing his 3 days in the tomb to Jonah's 3 days in the belly of the great fish. He mentioned the destruction of the temple, saying, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it again in 3 days." These cryptic statements baffled his listeners, but in hindsight, they were clear signs of his foreknowledge. Did he foresee the resurrection? 2. If Jesus foresaw his crucifixion, did he also know of his resurrection? The Gospels suggest he did. His confidence in God's plan never wavered, even as he faced unimaginable pain. "Destroy this temple," he said, "and in 3 days I will raise it again." This unwavering faith hints at a profound understanding of his purpose. Jesus wasn't just a victim of betrayal and injustice. He was the architect of a divine plan, willingly stepping into his role to bring salvation to the world. Conclusion. The question remains, how much did Jesus truly foresee? Did he know every detail, every betrayal, and every moment of agony? Or did he simply trust in God's greater plan, surrendering himself to the flow of destiny? One thing is certain: Jesus faced his crucifixion with courage, faith, and an unshakable resolve, leaving behind a legacy of love and redemption that continues to inspire millions. His foreknowledge, whether partial or complete, only adds to the mystery of his divine nature and the profound impact of his sacrifice.